Chrome tan leather is a type that undergoes a unique tanning process using chromium salts. It generally yields a very soft, flexible material that's versatile for making everything from jackets to boots and bags. It's usually available in thicknesses from around 2 to 8 ounce and costs generally around $2 to $7 per square foot. Unlike more traditional tanning methods, by using chrome salts, the leather can be tanned within a short period of around 2 days. The other common vegetable tanning method can take anywhere from weeks to months. With chrome tanning, the resulting leather is really soft and supple and sometimes can be a little more water resistant than its vegetable tan counterpart. And most any hide can be tanned using chrome tanning, so it makes it a really useful tanning method that produces about 90% of the leather available today. Let's briefly take a look at the history of chrome tanning and how it grew in popularity. Before chrome tanning, nearly all the leather produced was vegetable or brain tanned. Veg tan leather is tanned using tree bark that is high in tannins. It could also use tannins from plants. This is a really labor-intensive and time-consuming process, and it could take months to tan a finished hide. During the mid-1800s, scientists were looking for alternatives to tanning leather. During this time, Frederick Knapp discovered that chromium could be used to tan leather. By using chrome salts, animal hides could be tanned in days rather than months, a huge revelation at the time. It instantly caught on and changed the way leather was produced and how it was used ever since then. By the late 1800s, chrome tan leather grew in popularity even further, as did synthetic dyes. And this was primarily in conjunction with the Industrial Revolution. So now we had mechanized processes to take an already fast tanning method and essentially widen its availability much more easily. These synthetic dyes meant that the leather could be dyed in much more vibrant colors than previously available in vegetable tanning, and that led to innovative demands for new uses, new styles, and even new ways of finishing chrome tan leathers. And bringing us into the modern day, we see it everywhere, very often in things like upholstery, jackets, shoes, bags, pretty much anything you can find either made with or can be made from chrome tanned leather. So 90% of the world's leather is chrome tanned. What does that look like? Let's check it out. Here we've got a zoomed in view of the top of a chrome tanned piece of leather. And you can see it still retains some of the original grain patterns as well. It's not going to remove all that. It's just going to change the strength and structure to a point of the internal fibers to make it more soft and flexible. So it's great because we retain on this top layer, the strength and durability of that original hide. And that's going to be really important, especially for, a full grain or a top grain leather. Looking at the bottom, we see the open fiber structure there. Now on vegetable tan leather, it's going to be a little bit more fibrous. Here, it looks like super soft. And you can still see those fibers, but they're essentially going to be spread open a little more. And if you were to rub your finger over it, it's going to feel like a pretty fluffy, fuzzy. We could see even here, it's almost a little bit like pillowy, based on how soft and spread out they are. So that's going to be a characteristic of a chrome tan leather because it does result in a, softer, more supple leather, just like we're seeing here. The cross section. So this chrome tan piece is great because you can see the internal structure as it goes down the layers. On the top, we have that strong, thin layer. It's going to be dense, tight fibers. That's going to give it its durability on the outside. As we move further down, we begin to see that fiber pattern open up. There's going to be larger fibers, more space between them. That's going to be the weaker area of the fibers of that hide. Now going through the chrome tanning process, all the fibers are going to be a little more flexible and a little softer, which means that this type of material is going to bend easier. It's going to feel a little nicer in the hand and can be used for a lot of things like that. And looking inside, we could really see how that structure kind of flows through, and it's great because we take out the understand. Being able to see that and how those layers change. Looking at the production process, chrome tan has some unique elements to it. So once the hide is prepared for tanning, the first bath that it goes into is intended to lower the pH of the hide. This is going to allow the chrome salts to have a uniform and consistent absorption ability into that hide. This part of the process is called pickling. After the pickling, the hide is put into a chromium tanning solution that stabilizes the hide by bonding to the collagen fibers. This helps prevent it from decaying and breaking down. Once stabilized, the leather is then left with a blue tinge from the chrome salts. This is often called wet blue, and you'll see this a lot in pretty much any chrome tan leather at this stage. At that point, the leather is going to be cleaned, neutralized, wrung, and then transferred to a drum to be dyed. Once these steps are complete, the leather will often go through a process called fat liquoring. At this point, oil is reintroduced into the hide to replace these fats that were lost during the tanning process. This is most often done by putting the leather into a heated drum of oil for approximately 30 minutes, after which the leather is wrung and dried. Further treatments can then be done, such as correcting grains, applying a variety of finishes, surface textures, protectants, things like that will ultimately yield the finished leather. Now, it's really important to know too, that's a very brief overview. The chrome tanning process can have huge amounts of variability and often changed too by tannery, their process, and their recipe. The process of, taking it out and drying it, stretching it, or things like that, and then going back into chrome salts, like that could happen multiple times. It may happen once, so it's going to vary based on the unique process that a tannery is using based on their desired results. Additionally, the finishing elements that can be applied can vary as well. That can be the colorants, it could be surface textures and patterns, if there are kind of sealants or waterproofers, pretty much all of that is variable. And so when you've got a tanning process that makes up 90% of the leather, that is available commercially today, you could imagine how many different ways that can be created, by tannery, by region, by preference, things like that. So this is a broad overview, and just know that the chrome tanning process is going to yield a softer, more flexible leather, faster than a veg tan, and any number of ways. Looking at cost, chrome tan leather usually runs around $2 to $7 per square foot. Certainly, you could find it less expensive or more. The key things to keep in mind are going to be the type of hide that was chrome tanned, the quality of that hide, the unique process used by that tannery, and then any kind of finishing elements, steps or coatings or oils or waxes that are put on as well. So that's going to lead to the most variability in there. And again, this is a widely popular type of tanning process, so you could find pretty much any type of leather in a chrome tan method. Looking at the pros, chrome tan leather is super soft and flexible. This is going to be a great combination. It's also really strong, since it is natural leather. Just because it has gone through the chrome tanning process to soften it a bit doesn't take away all of that strength. So you're still left with a really nice quality, strong leather. And some cons, depending on use, are that it is soft and flexible. If you're looking to do something like carving or tooling, where you want the impressions of those to really stay in a more stiff leather, you're going to look for a veg tan. So in that case, a chrome tan may be a con, just because it is a softer, more flexible leather. Additionally, a con can be quality. As in any method, there's going to be a range of quality, but since chrome tanning is less expensive and overall faster than vegetable tanning, you may also get a larger amount of tanneries producing just quick leather cheaply, which may not be quality leather. So, of course, like any product, you're going to have that kind of range in the marketplace. So just make good choices for what works for you, but also being aware it could be a con that there are, a huge volume of this type of leather, and it may not all be great. Let's look at a few good uses. So there's a lot of items you can make with this. Popular are going to be wallets, boots, handbags, backpacks, jackets, upholstery, automotive, and also in the home. This is a very, very versatile material, and you've probably seen or have some that's used in most applications where leather is found. So if you're looking to pretty much create anything and deciding if you want to use a vegetable tan or a chrome tan will likely, in most cases, be a really viable option. And a few tips for working with chrome tan leather. Since it is a softer leather, you want to make sure that you're using nice sharp tools, so that it doesn't tug on the material as you're pulling through it. Even if you're putting holes for it for stitching or things like that, you want to make sure that they're sharp, and so that they'll be putting that hole in cleanly and not pull any of the material around it, leaving an undesirable look in your finished piece. And two, look for a quality type. There's going to be all kinds out there, And just like, most other projects, the quality of the materials are going to directly correlate to the quality of the finished good. And so while there may be temptations to buy the cheaper types, it may not give you the best results. So basically, test them out. You could definitely find quality leathers inexpensively. So it's not to say that, spend a lot, to get a lot. You can sometimes spend a little to get a lot. Just go in with your eyes open and, make sure that you're getting a quality piece of material to give you a quality result in your work. So there you have it. A look into the exceedingly popular chrome tan leather. You've probably seen this, held this, worked with this, maybe have something made from it. It's really, really widespread, and there's a lot of options available given how popular it is. So if you're looking to make a cool project, this is definitely something to explore, and I think it'll work out really well.